Hello YouTubers, I want to welcome you to another edition of Bargain Bin Gear. And continuing in our series, right, on small guitar setups, right, for kind of coffee house gigs and those kinds of things, or late night, apartment playing. Well, in any case, I hope you've been subscribing and following the videos because they build one on top of the other. Well, recently I had a dream, right? And I was thinking, man, in my dream anyway, I went to play a coffee house gig. And in my dream, I had two of those little orange PPC 108 cabinets, right, with the 8-inch speakers, the little tiny cabinets. And then I had my guitar, and I walked in, right, one trip, had everything, right, I had a gig bag, right, with my guitar in it, and the two little cabinets, and that was it looked like, right, and I mean, it was just walking in setup, and it was tiny setup, but the sound was really great, Now, of course, this was a dream, right? I mean, you couldn't possibly have a setup that small, that you could actually play and not think it was a toy or something. I mean, is it possible to get a quality sound like that? Well, let me tell you something. It was a natural extension, from going to from the Bugera T5 tube heads, right, for a small setup that I'd done a video in the past. Well, what if you could get that even smaller? I mean, a really seriously portable guitar rig, right? And not compromise too much on the stereo part of it, especially if we had those two little cabinets. Well, in any case, I went looking around and I found something quite extraordinary, really, and I couldn't resist, and that is the Harley Benton Thunder 99 stereo power amp, right? Except it's the size of a pedal. You gotta be kidding me. Now granted, it's not tube, it's solid state, but can you imagine if you had that and run it through those two little 8-inch orange cabinets? I mean, that's this setup you could walk in anywhere, really, and have your entire setup there. I mean, wow, that blows my mind, really. Now, granted, in my case, I'd bring a bass amp and a crossover, because the bass amp really helps the little cabinet sound amazing, as we've shown in previous videos. So anyway, and I mean, I've never dealt with Harley Benton, and mostly because, one, in the United States it's not really found, Harley Benton is kind of a European brand under Thomann, kind of like Andertons and all that overseas, right? In any case, now they've gone to great lengths to allow shipping to the United States, but one, it takes a while, and two, it's kind of expensive, shipping-wise. So I continued looking for it, and I'll be darned if I didn't find one in Indianapolis, Indiana, off of Reverb. I found this Harley Benton Thunder 99, right? And it's a city an hour away, right? And the guy who was selling it, the shipping costs were perfectly reasonable. I think it was like $10 shipping. I mean, wow, right? And I wouldn't have to wait coming overseas and paying the extra shipping costs. So I didn't hesitate. And is this possible that this could really work? I don't know. We'll find out though. So let's take a look at this. Okay, check this out. Here it is. The Harley Benton Custom Line Thunder 99. Right, the stereo, 50 watts per side, power amp and a pedal. Wow. And basically $100. At least for me it was, used. Now, overseas, by the time from Thomann or what have you, you're paying about $37 shipping, plus the price of the unit. So you're closer to $140, which is still amazing if it works and really does what it says it does. We're gonna find out. So here we go. We're gonna have an unboxing of sorts. Now this is the original box, which is great. You can see it says Harley Benton, right? So let's see what we get in here. Custom Line Thunder 99. Please don't try this at home. Only trained professionals should attempt. Unboxing. Here we go. Wow. Okay. Under 99. So we got some instructions here. My goodness, this is tiny. Talk about tiny. You gotta be kidding me. Look at that. That is tiny. Well, this would fit on any pedal board. Right? Wow. So you've got stereo line in, stereo line out. Or I'm sorry, amp out. Be careful. Right? Wow. That is amazing. And basically you have an on-off switch, right? Which is really just cuts the signal. So it's not an on-off switch, I guess. It's more of a cuts your signal, mutes your signal if you like. Then you've got a volume knob here. There's also a line in, right? Besides the two 1/4-inch jacks stereo, right? For the input. You also have a line in, little tiny line in. And for for the output, you've got just left and right. And then here you've got a phone, a headphones jack, which is unbelievable. Look at that. That's hard to believe. 50 watts per side. Well, that's almost 100 watts. Alright, the stereo, no less. Now here's the thing that's kind of the con of this pedal. Right? And that is this. Ooh. Right? Why, you said this was a little pedal. Look at this thing. That's the AC adapter. Why, this is huge. It's a lot bigger. Look at this. Compare that to the pedal. Right? So this is kind of a con of it. However, you know, usually when I get something like this, I usually go on Amazon, match up, you know, the output requirements, and they usually have a little tiny type of AC adapter. However, that's not the case here, because it needs the power, you know, to power this and give it, you know, the 24 volts power, right? And 24 volts is quite a bit, really. And I found that no matter what, even on Amazon, they're pretty much this size. You might be able to get a little smaller, but not by much. You know, it just requires that power. However, still can fit in a gig bag or a, you know, backpack or what have you, right? So, and remember, this comes from Europe, so of course, you've got the European cable that it comes with, and you'll notice the end there has the European plug-in. So we won't be using this here anyway. However, as a bonus, right, the guy included a really nice power cable. Right. And it's just, you know, standard 3-prong power cable. So basically you would plug this in, right? So it becomes just a standard AC adapter. Now what's nice about this one is the cable length is pretty good. Let's see. Here we go. So it just plugs in here. There it is. So it's not too bad, you know. It's quite amazing, really. Wow. Harley Benton Thunder 99 power amp. God, that's crazy. And I mean, you know, at a coffee house gig or what have you, you can tuck this kind of out of the way, you know, or it's not a big deal. And this would fit on a power board. Now mine, because it's used, already has Velcro on it, which is great. Thank you, because I can just pop that on my pedal board, you know, or no pedal board at all, or a tiny pedal board that would fit in a gig bag, you know. Wow. Alright, well, let's try it. Okay, I've got it hooked up here, and the nice thing is there's an LED on the power supply and an LED on the pedal itself. Green is on, and it turns red when it's muted. Wow. Alright, let's give it a try. I'm gonna run it into that little cabinet down there. Right there. A little tiny cabinet. I mean, this is crazy. We'll see if it works. Okay, now just as a test, I've got it hooked up on just mono for right now, just to get an idea of the sound. And it's unbelievable, really. Take a listen to this. And this is running the Harley Benton Thunder 99. And I have it at half, a little less than halfway. Here, I'll have it at halfway. Alright, let's try it. Keep in mind, this is with my bass amp added in, you know. I mean, I could certainly play a coffee house gig with this. Let me turn off the bass amp so that we hear just the little tiny orange cabinet and the Thunder 99 pedal. Let's hear that. at 75%. Let's hear that. Decent. It's not bad, considering their little tiny cabinet. I'm going to turn on the bass amp here. Try a little bit of looping stuff. Okay, so once again the bass amp makes a huge difference with the little cabinets there, but even without it, it's still passable, though it does start to get small sounding and kind of boxy. for a little cab like that. So we still haven't used it in stereo yet, because that's going to require some cabling issues I have to deal with. So far I'm blown away. I mean, it's amazing, really. I mean, trying to wrap my head around this. That this is a pedal, but it's actually a power amp. And I mean, it really works like a power amp. Alright, now I've got similar setup to the last video. I've got the Vox on the right, which is a 1x12 cabinet with a greenback speaker in it. And the left side is the little tiny 8-inch orange speaker, and it's being powered by the Harley Benton stereo amp. Let's see what we get. So let's try a little delay. Loop that. Alright, now I've got the Harley Benton Thunder 99 at halfway, so it's plenty loud, and it's what it says. It's a stereo power amp. I mean, I'm, gosh, blown away. In other words, you could have this in your gig bag and just bring in two little tiny cabinets, and you're on your way. Wow. Now, does it feel like a tube amp? No, not really. But it doesn't feel like one of those cheap... Doesn't feel like one of those cheap, solid-state amps. Though it is a solid-state amp, it doesn't feel like it, really. believe this? Wow! Man, I am totally impressed. Man! Now granted, this is running through my big pedal board. You could run anything through it, really. I mean, a little Line 6 Express, which I don't have, or a TC Electronics Plethora X5, right? That's all you need. That, the little power amp, and the little cabinets, and if you want to add the bass, the crossover and bass amp. But I am totally blown away, and it is stereo, no question about it. Wow. So that's the Harley Benton Thunder 99. And I mean, I'm just blown away by that. That's crazy. You know? And definitely the smallest setup I've ever had. To think that, yeah, you're not running any amps, you know, combo amps or heads or anything, just a little pedal. Unbelievable. Highly, highly recommended. And it feels like an amp, and not a cheap solid state amp, you know. That's kind of what I was worried about, you know. Like you'll remember, like the PB Bandit has a power amp solid state section that I just cannot stand. I just hate the sound of it. And I think it's just the cheap solid state amps. Here, this isn't the case. It's actually a kind of a, I wouldn't say a warm sound, but warmer than most solid state amps I've tried. And I had it at halfway, and, you know, my little crossovers have an input kind of gain. Not really gain, but input level, if you like. And I had that at about 7. It can go to 10, or maybe 11. Yeah. Wow. So, I mean, you can put that in your gig bag and be ready to go. That's crazy. Wow. Super impressed. For the price, it's a true bargain. I mean, think about it. At $100, you're basically paying $50 per side. Right? Wow. Now, granted, you have to kind of, unless you find one used, you know, nearby, or you have a cool store that maybe carries it. If not, you can order it online via Toman. I'm not sure if Amazon has them. Okay, I'm looking at Amazon. They do not have it. However, what they do have is a compatible AC adapter. Right? It looks to be about just as big, maybe a little smaller, for $30. Plus $10 shipping. Why, that's $39. You can find them cheaper than that. Anyway, now they do have the Seymour Duncan Power Stage, which is a pedal and has more wattage, like 170 watts, except for one thing. It's mono. Sad. And on top of that, $500. Can you imagine? So here you're really getting a bargain of bargains. Wow. And it sounds great. Man. So the Harley Benton, not only is it stereo, but much cheaper than the competition. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Seymour Duncan stuff. But, for my purposes, the Harley Benton Thunder 99 is just perfect. And they, I've seen other videos where they say, oh, well, you can also have two other uses for it, and that is as a backup, right? If your amp goes down, your tube amp, you can always pull this out and say, hey, here you go, right? So as a backup, it's great. But here's the other possibilities, and that is the wet, dry, wet scenario, right? Which I'm not gonna mess with, at least for not right now. All I wanted was something that would replace amps, so that I could just bring in the little tiny orange cabinets, and it certainly does that. But I'm powering the Vox 12-inch cabinet, no problem. Anyway, so this is the Harley Benton Thunder 99, and it's a Thomann product. So you can go online to Thomann, Thoman. Yeah, so the website is actually ThomanMusic.com, and here you go. You've got the Harley Benton Custom Line Thunder 99, 89 bucks. $37.89 via UPS. And pretty quick turnaround time, really. Yeah, it comes out to about 126 bucks. Yeah. So unbelievable. Plus, don't forget, I don't know if you probably have to pay sales tax too. I'm assuming. I'm not sure about that. Anyway, what a bargain. I'm really thrilled. I can't imagine that you could go much smaller than this and get this kind of sound. Before we go, we'll try one more loop. you go. I'm totally impressed. Now, will this pedal make you sound like Jimi Hendrix? Probably not. But that's not the point, I guess. Alright, so anyway, price is definitely right. It's just a very cool pedal. Alright, very good. See you next time.